Hi, welcome to CS170. This is the fall session. So my name is Arnold Lau. I'm one of the professors teaching this class. My sections will be asynchronous. So this is the first lecture. I'm just going to walk you through a lot of the logistics and whatnot for this class. So first of all, you can see here, I'm on Canvas. So most of you have probably used Canvas or using Canvas for your other classes. So this should be pretty straightforward for you. So you'll be able to come to Canvas. This will be your home screen. And as I said, there's other lecturers. So you can see these are the other sections here, and these are synchronous lectures as it highlights here. And asynchronous is myself, right? And that's covering sections 1 through 11. So there's a couple of links here. I actually put some of these links in here just to make it kind of convenient. So if you came in here and you kind of just, bookmarked or set yourself to go to my section, hopefully I have all of the links that goes to the other areas in here. So this is just to kind of make it so you don't go to multiple places to get this information, right? So you can imagine we'll have announcements, we'll have your quizzes, your exams, your assignments, resources, everything available on the page here. But you'll be on different links here. So you'll see on your left-hand side, you'll see different things, right? Announcements, assignments, your files. Piazza is this like group conversational type of thing. So if you have a question, you can post it out there and hopefully other students may have the same question or maybe they have to answer. They can respond. The TAs or the professors can also jump in there and respond to stuff. So this kind of saves everybody from asking, let's say the TAs, the professors, like repeated same questions over and over again. Hopefully this makes it a little bit more efficient and also get you more engaged with other students. So that's Piazza here. And you have these other things here. On my screen, you actually see a little bit more. You can see this thing on the top right where it says student view. This is kind of like the admin view or the professor view. So I'll actually have a little bit more stuff on here than you might. But anyway, we try to keep these a little bit clean. There's actually a lot more to this that we could have on here, but we try to keep as clean as possible so that you don't get too confused by things, right? But even if you don't go into my section here, but you'll see there's already provided links here for here's the syllabus for the course. Here's the schedule. I'm going to step into these, so don't worry about clicking on them just yet. The course resources and weekly learning objectives, your assignments, your quizzes and exams. You can see your lab support hours and whatnot. And you can see here September 7th is the start for it, right? And then of course your exams here. Okay, so there'll be more details on the exams as they become apparent. Right now, I think this will be one of the first times that we're kind of set up the course in this way, where we have a couple of synchronous sections and an asynchronous section for myself. So we'll have to kind of sort out some of the logistics around the exams and whatnot. But as soon as we get that sorted, that'll be put out here too. So I think we're doing our best to try to make sure everything that you need to get to do well in this class is available here in Canvas. So let's click through here, allow sections 1 to 11. Let's see what we have here. So first of all, there's my email. Okay, so I do encourage people to email me. I find that I'm generally pretty good at responding to emails pretty quickly, even though I'm doing a lot of different things. This is kind of like a side thing that I do here, teaching at Rutgers. I actually do have a day job. But even so, I do try to get on here and check my email rather frequently. and respond fairly quickly to questions, right? But I'm not the only resource. You can obviously talk to your TAs. Your TAs are pretty good at picking up on things and responding to your questions. We also have lab hours. We also have office hours. And if that schedule doesn't suit you, if you give us enough time, we can also arrange, custom time to meet with you. But you just have to kind of give us a more advanced lead time to arrange those. Okay. And, when you look at the asynchronous class, just to be clear, asynchronous class doesn't mean don't watch any of these videos, any lectures, don't show up to recitations, and then just pop in for the exam and take the exam, right? It doesn't work that way. So we do want you to watch the lectures, which will be recorded, and I'll make the announcements on there. And we try not to flood you with announcements, but at the same time, I find that recording shorter lectures for the videos is a little bit better, because I don't think you want to watch a video for like an hour or 2 hours straight. So I do try to chop up the videos a bit into like smaller sections to kind of give you a break, right? You could argue that you can just hit pause and walk away and do whatever, but organizing into smaller videos, I put some specific titles on the topics on the videos. Maybe it makes it a little bit more convenient for you. So if you have a question about a particular topic, you can go to that and whatnot, right? And so before I step into some of these other things, let me just give you a little bit of a quick background or introduction for myself. So as I said, I do have a day job. So I actually work in technology, and I actually work in an investment bank as my full-time job, my regular job. So, I think people have talked about, like, why is it that you have to take this class for business, right? And the truth is, yes, you are taking business as your major, but when you look at the current state of the world right now, technology is integrated into everything, no matter what you're doing, right? So if you don't really have at least a basic handle on technology, it's going to be very difficult for you to succeed or compete with everyone else who does have a good handle on technology, right? So you think about it, whether you're working in the corporate side or you're working as an individual entrepreneur, or somewhere in between, technology is in all aspects to facilitate our business, whether it's on the marketing side, whether it's on the finance side, whether it's on the actual running of the business. Some business would not even exist without technology. So, technology all around is crucial, and you really need to have at least a working knowledge of technology, right? And even if you may not be doing the implementation on the technology side, you're working with other people who do, how to leverage that technology, what are the possibilities there? It's important for you to know, right? So I think it's like probably almost impossible these days for you to say you're going to be doing business and not know anything about technology. So, that's why you're taking this class. And then I hope with my background working in technology, and I've worked on I am working on the corporate side. I'm also working on the entrepreneurial side. Whether it's on the real estate financing, running small business. I'm active in those areas also, and I'm pretty aware of like the different things that we do in terms of using marketing for social media, web pages, spreadsheets. In this case, we're talking about Excel. I've done stuff and I'm doing stuff with big data, data mining, all of those different things. I believe, hopefully my experience, my current experience, and my past experience can bring some of like the current topics that you're studying in this class and kind of bridge that and tell you how the things you're learning is relevant to what you're going to potentially be doing in the future. Okay, so that's a little bit about my background, and I'm not going to really spend a huge amount of time talking about, the things I do. This class is for you. The only reason why I bring that up is because if you have any interest about where you want to take your career, it does. You don't have to talk about in the context of technology. Feel free. You can drop me a line. I'm happy to do office hours. I've worked with students in the past. Just to kind of talk about when, actually one thing I should also mention, I'm also an alumni at Rutgers. I came through Rutgers many years ago. So I've gone through the process. I've gone through the undergrad, I've gone to MBA. So, I think if there's anything I can do to share and give you some support or give you advice for your future career exploration, I'm happy to do that. Okay. So you can reach out to me, my email and whatnot. We can do some office hours or whatnot, and we can chat. Of course, I'm also available to answer questions about the class topics. But and just to set expectations clearly, generally, I think the way it works out is that the lectures, they're not 100% matching up exactly to what you read in a book, right? Because if that's the case, then you might as well just read the book and then you don't have to go to the lecture, right? So, look at the lectures as a way to kind of highlight certain topics from the book, right? But it doesn't mean that you can go to the lectures and forget about reading the book, or you can read the book and forget about going to the lectures, right? And same thing with the recitation. So the way I look at it is the lectures highlight certain key topics and goes at it at a certain level, okay? And maybe I'll try to provide you resources online or whatever for you to, get further study, right? And, the recitations will drill into certain topics, a little bit more hands-on, smaller classes and whatnot, and personal attention from the TAs. So, that's how it's really structured. It's structured so that each of these pieces that you you work with is complementing each other, right? You're not going to use one piece and forget about the other pieces. So recitations, lectures, and the book all fit together, right? And I'll try to do my best to highlight where things are really important, meaning that you're probably going to see it on the exam, and you should really understand those concepts. Okay. And I think the other thing to pay attention to is when we look at these different things for your exam, for the past few semesters since we've had COVID, these exams are open book, right? So, we're going to try not to make things so you just kind of look at the book, copy it straight from the book right into the exam, and then that's it, right? That's like no thinking at all. It doesn't really show any understanding of the topic or material. So we're not here to try to provide you word for word examples and then use that, you just copy and paste it and have no idea what that's doing, right? So we do try to give you like the components, the working components, and then we ask you to try to work with it and try to maybe draw some logical conclusions and then take that forward, right? And we feel like that's a good way for you to learn and really understand the topic. And one last thing before I continue on, I do have to mention the academic integrity side of things. So we do have assignments, and the assignments will be doing some coding, right? Basic coding, okay? And so there's a couple of things with that. Number one, we understand, and the expectations for this class is not that you're going to be doing advanced programming, right? So there's a lot of things that we can teach here that can get done with some advanced function skills or whatever, right? That's out there. But we don't teach that, right? And that's because most of the people taking this class don't have really significant prior technology experience. So, we are teaching more of the basic functions, nothing complex or whatnot. So, and there will be a list of that. We'll go over that in a sec. You need to stick to that. If you do anything outside of those parameters, you're going to get flagged for academic integrity issues. right? And I have to tell you, for the academic integrity issues, no matter how many times I've said it in the past, people seem to not think that we're serious about it. We do catch people every semester with academic integrity issues that we do have to file a formal process with it. It goes on your record and it gets escalated. You know, if it's a warning, the first time is kind of like a warning, but you'll get like a 0 for your assignment or the exam, depending on what the situation is. And then, you know, your second go around, once you get that warning, it becomes a more serious issue, right? You know, I can tell you, right, we're talking about a technology course here, right? It's not that hard for us to be able to compare everyone's submissions versus themselves, like the other students in the class, as well as with whatever is online, right? So if you can find it online and copy it in for your assignment, you can be pretty sure we can find it online and also check to see if something matches, right? And you probably have seen these type of checks going on your writing classes as well. So, you know, I want to give everybody a fair warning that the technology is out there to find people who have potential academic integrity violations. And, you know, it's going to be processed with the university. Once it's processed with the university, it's really out of our hands. We're not involved with it anymore. We just highlight it, we present the evidence, and then it works its way up the chain. So please don't do that. Not only is it not great for you, it's not really great for us because it takes us a bit of work to organize everything to submit this. And you know, I think other thing I'll share with you is that for this class, you know, since I've been teaching the class, the numbers really prove it out over like however many semesters I've been teaching this. 90% of the students in this class get a good grade. And when I say a good grade, it's A or B. And out of those students, 90% of them get A's. So it's a high percentage of people who do well in this class. You just have to do your work, right? Submit the assignments, do well in the exams. And, you know, ever since we've gone online, we've actually decreased the weighting of the exam. So it's not like a high stakes affair with the exams, right? The bottom line is you do your assignments and you don't cheat on them. You're going to do well in this class, right? So it's almost like not even worth it. Like, why would you even do it when there's no need to? Okay. You don't want to risk the rest of your academic career with a black mark by having academic integrity issue, right? So I'm sorry to have to spend a decent amount of time talking about it. It's just that every semester we're catching people and we're having to go through this process. It's pretty painful and it's really not good for you. So please don't do it. Okay. All right. All right, let's try to get through these couple of these things and then, you know, we can be done with the introduction video and then I can look to post the other videos for your first week later on this week. Okay, so here we are. Class announcements, which is the same thing as clicking on this class announcements, right? So let's go here. Now I click on it. Like I said, this is the professor view, so you can actually see a little bit more stuff. So you can see the timing on these. We have these kind of lined up because of all these different things. So don't worry too much about that because they're not valid for you yet. I'm just showing you where the announcements are. Let me see here. We got the Piazza. So Piazza is the same thing as if I click on here, but let me click on here. And yes, all right, so we got some stuff going on here for Piazza. Obviously, the class hasn't really started yet, so that's why you don't see anything here. Let me go down here before I open up too many tabs. So student schedule, I kind of find this is kind of useful here. So let me zoom on this for a bit. Okay. So forget the title says fall 2019. Obviously, that's not been updated properly. But you can see here, you have all the different weeks. So this is our first introductory week. There's a lot of people doing ad drops and whatnot. So we're not going to do anything crazy this week. And it's only like Wednesday for this week. But anyway, I'm giving you the course overview right now. And then this is like the human computer interface, right? And you look at this from the book, your textbook, it's chapters 1 and 2. Okay. We have your recitation. Again, it's more introductory stuff and, Canvas and whatnot. That's what your recitations will be going over. And it's really introductory assignment. It's a very basic assignment. And it's really counting more for extra points, right? And I'll get to your extra points in a second when I walk through the syllabus. And then you have like the post date, which is when we put that assignment out there. In this case, it's September 1st. And then the due date, which is September 10th. And then for this particular thing, I mean, it's extra credit. For this particular thing, free late doesn't exist. So normally you have something that's except until date, right? So I have something here, September 10th. This is no free late, so this doesn't apply here. But the next one, you can see, we're going to post it on September 7th. The due date is going to be September 17th, and we'll check it until September 24th. What does that mean, right? Well, it doesn't mean that you just wait until September 24th to turn it in. If you don't turn it in by September 17th, you're going to incur a 50% penalty to turn it in for September 24th, okay? And really try not to, it says 11:59 p.m., but try not to be waiting until 11:58 p.m. to try to submit it. Sometimes the servers are slow, you're trying to submit it, it takes a while to go up, maybe it times out, you have to resubmit it. And it's a pain, right? So at the end of the day, it's up to our discretion, but generally we're not going to cut you a break. You can't tell us that, 12:05 a.m., can I still turn this in for full credit, okay? So we're making it pretty clear, do not wait until the last minute to try to submit this. And if there's a technical issue, to try to claim, some sort of leeway to get that through. And you can see the points here, right? You can see here, there's the 2 extra credit points here, and you have the assignment points here. There's like little quizzes with some of these assignments, very short. They're easy quiz questions, so you can get 5 points on that. And you can see how they kind of total up for your points at the bottom here. And notice this, you got all of these points here. They essentially total up to your 500 points here, right? But then you got all of these points here that essentially equal up to 20 extra credit points here. That's enough for a lot of times to move people like half a grade. It can get you from a B to a B plus or a B plus to an A. So, and I think extra credit is not that hard to get, so try and do it, right? So this is a simple basic assignment, turn that in. And then the way the quiz extra credit works is that you can see here, instructor extra credit, and then you have the TA extra credit. So I have 10 extra credit points to give, and the TAs have 8 extra credit points to give, right? Which you add the 2 from your first assignment, you get 20, okay? So the way I like to do the extra credit, and I did this even when I was teaching in class, face-to-face, and now when I do it asynchronously, I basically ask a couple questions in class, and then I ask people to submit them to me, submit the responses, right? And I do this for 2 reasons. One is sort of like attendance, right? And the TAs will kind of do something similar. And then the other thing I like to get from it is that it's not really busy work. I'm asking you questions that hopefully when you write them down, you put them into your notes, that this is part of what you use for your studying, or as your notes for, let's say, the exam. If we have to open notes for your exam, then you write that down and you can have that available to you. So I do it twofold. One is to give you extra credit, but 2, to give you some opportunity to help prepare for the exams. Okay, so that's my philosophy when it comes to the extra credit side of things. Anyway, I'm not going to walk down through all of this. I think you get the idea. But this thing I find helpful because it lays out everything between your lectures, your assignments, all the various dates. You can see the exam down here and stuff. So everything is here. If there's something that's not in here or you think is incorrect, make sure you let me know. Okay. So so that's the schedule. Again, assignments, I'm going to see more than you would normally see. You can kind of see these things. They're going to become available right at these dates here. Okay. So don't worry about it too much now. You're not going to really see anything if you go into those. And so this is my area, right? Again, I have a lot of stuff in here that's not published yet. I'll be putting stuff up there when the time is suitable and put stuff up there. Then this is your modules. Okay, so this is like that student schedule I just showed you before. Is the syllabus, which I'll go into in a second. Important is academic integrity violation. Please take a look at these. I'm not going to walk through it. I think I've said enough about it. Please look at this on your own time. The only thing I'm going to just tell you again, we take this pretty seriously, and it's straightforward technology to find people who are submitting things that is not their own work. Okay, so please don't do it. It makes your life better. It makes our life better. Okay. Here's all of the modules here, resources and whatnot. Again, you're seeing way more than you would see when you go into your review. Actually, you know what? Let me just click on student view for a second here. See where I get to. You can see it kind of shrinks down a bit. A lot of the stuff fell off. And that's just because we didn't make it available for the students yet. Okay. Let's go back to here. Quizzes and exams, same thing. Lab hours, office hours. So you can see here, it doesn't matter if I'm going to leave the student view. It doesn't matter. So you can see all the lab support here, right? Here's the times. Here's like the Zoom or the WebEx. Everyone's got their thing, whether they like the WebEx or Zoom better. So they go into these. Here's the actual TA. You can go to other people's lab hours, so it doesn't matter. For whatever reason, excuse me, whatever time works for you here, then you just pop in there. Now, for me personally, let me scroll down here. So this is everybody here. We're all teaching the same material. So if you want to drop in on others for whatever reason because of the schedule, then go ahead and do that. Now, for me, my office hours are Friday 6 to 8, but it doesn't matter, right? If you email me, just let me know, and we can work out some other time, right? I do have a day job, so I'm not going to be able to do anything Monday through Friday during the day usually, but maybe I can sort something out, right? And that's my WebEx there. Okay, so that's my info there. And here's everybody else. So there's like a ton of like different slots for people, and all of us, if you give us enough time with the email, we'll be able to arrange office hours. And the other thing is, even if you're gonna pop in on, let's say in this case, Friday 6 to 8 p.m., I do suggest you send me email ahead of time, because I try to space people out, so not to have everybody pop up at my door at 6 p.m. Because I can only talk to one person at a time, right? So if you send me email, I can tell you, okay, I got like whoever lined up at 6, so maybe you can pop in at 6:15 or 6:30 or whatever. That would be helpful. Okay, so even if you do plan to pop in at this time, do send me an email. That gives me a chance to maybe work out the schedule, so you don't like pop in there when there's 4 or 5 other people in the room at the same time. Okay, so something to pay attention to. All right, so last thing is, let me get to the syllabus here. And you can see here, you're going to see this one thing here, and I have the media gallery here. As the semester progresses, you'll be seeing me, I'll be putting different weeks here with the related videos. and I also have the media gallery that you can go to. So, you know, you can always go back to the videos, and hopefully I can organize these with the right topics, and there'll be short video clips and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go through the syllabus quickly and see if we can go. Oh man, all right. Let me fix that link later. So in the meantime, let me come back to here, and I'll get the syllabus from the top part here. Okay, so it's out here. I didn't put the right link in there, so I'll fix that link in a second when I'm done with this. So I'm not gonna go through this word by word. There's actually a lot of stuff in here. I'm just gonna hit some highlights in here. You're free to look at this syllabus. I suggest you look at this syllabus. So you can see a couple of different things here. Here's your exams, right? So these are the kind of the details that we have for now in terms of how long the exam is and the week that's going to be in. We'll have more details as we sort things out with this. And this just kind of goes through some of the definitions about the different teaching situations: asynchronous, synchronous, face-to-face. So here's the lectures, going through the recitations. These are the different times here. So you can see like the synchronous people here, you know, so I don't know if you like to, you can also try to pop in to these. There's nothing stopping you from popping into these if you prefer to have like a live synchronous lecture. Like I said, we're all teaching the same content, maybe from a slightly different angle, but we're all teaching the same stuff. So you can see we have classes Tuesday and Thursday. We also have classes Monday and Wednesday. They also record their classes. So it's up to you. If you like the feel of doing more of a synchronous type of lecture where you see them live and ask questions there, you're welcome to jump into those lectures also. Here's the different learning objectives, the different chapters you can see in the book, right? The different topics for the assignments, right? It's all in one place here. Yeah, you can see this whole big section, academic integrity. Yeah, it goes for essentially like about a page or so. So it's taken pretty seriously, okay? These are the different things I just hit on in terms of the Canvas tools. The grades tool is pretty self-explanatory. Just go in there, you can see your grades. Piazza I talked about. This is a book, right? Some people have talked about whether they can use the older version of the book. Yeah, it's generally going to be fine. Sometimes like they change the questions a little bit in the end, but I don't think they're like significantly different. If there's a specific question we may ask from the current book versus the older one, you know, maybe check with your classmates. You can post a question to Piazza or whatever. But, you know, I think if you can get the online version of the book, it works out probably quote unquote reasonably cheap compared to, you know, buying the regular hardcover textbook. So it's up to you. You know, whether you want to go with the latest version of the book or like one version older is usually what people ask about. Okay. So this is important here. Microsoft provides all students with free Office, MS Office. So, you know, there's no reason why you wouldn't install that on your computer. It can run on the web, or it can run locally on your computer. Run locally on your computer gives you more features than running it on the web. But I think for most of the stuff, maybe a little bit of the Excel, but most of the stuff should be fine by using the web version. But yeah, the Excel, there might be a couple of things that you need to run the local version, and you can download it for free as long as you're a student of Rutgers. Okay. Note this point, do not use the Google Sheets. Okay. So when you're doing stuff, there's people that would kind of do something like hand in like a link for their Google Sheet or whatever. You know, you have to think about this. Our class is running hundreds of students, and the TAs are basically pulling all these downloads into like their packet for them to do grading, right? So if some students do like the Excel stuff, some students do stuff on Google Sheets, and you know, they have to have internet access. Like it just adds all kinds of complexity. So you know, that's why we have it. You can do whatever you want on Google Sheets or whatever, but ultimately you're gonna have to turn stuff in using Excel. Okay. Or could be Word if we have to do something in Word. Okay. And you have these other things for doing flow charts. Here's Word for 2016. We'll have some JavaScript stuff. When we get to that time, I'll talk more about it. This talks about like all of the points for the exams and how they total up. You can see the same thing when you look at the student schedule on the right-hand side that I was showing you on the Excel sheet. Okay. And so, yeah, you look at this, right? Look at the assignments here, right? It's a pretty big part of the pie. It's almost like half the pie here, right? And then these quizzes, which are easy quizzes, right? They're like 5 points, like 1 point for each one. And, you know, they're meant to be super easy. You know, you have a recitation project. Again, your TA is going to be working with you on it. So again, super easy. So bottom line, your exam is only 35%. So if you do a lot of this other stuff and do halfway decent on your exams, you're actually in pretty good shape. Okay. So here's all the total points and how they sum up. You can take those and break those out into your grades. Okay, so this talks a bit about makeup exams and whatnot. One thing to go over a little bit is the second chance policy. So the way the second chance policy works is that just say you kind of do okay on exam one, but not that great. The first section of the final exam pretty much matches up to your exam one material. Okay, so if you do well on that first section of the final exam, better than, let's say, your first exam score, we'll take that score and apply it to your first exam. Okay, so that's why it's called a second chance policy. Now, the couple caveats to this: one, you have to take the first exam. You can't just blow off the first exam and then just say, okay, I'm going to take the score from the final exam. The other pit is that it only goes one way. So it can't be that you do awesome for your first exam and then you blow off the first part of the final exam and say, okay, let me take the score from my first exam, right? So it only goes one way, meaning if you do better on your final exam, you can apply that score to your first exam, and that's it. Okay. And then the same thing for your second exam. So your second exam matches to the second part of your final exam. If you do better on that second part of your finals, you'll be able to apply that score. Okay. And so that's what all of this is explaining down here. Okay. Quizzes, note this part here. So there's sometimes like students are sick or whatever, they missed the quiz. So all of the quizzes will reopen on the last day of class, and you'll have a few days to kind of, you know, do better, like fix those quizzes. If you didn't get a chance to do the quiz, you get to do the quiz and whatnot. Okay. So again, if I come back up to here, quizzes count only for 5% of your grade. No, actually 12%, I should say. Your recitation is 5%. Your quizzes only count for 12% of your grade, but it's just like the extra credit. It's enough to push your grade one way or the other. Okay. And it's the easy ask, right? The quizzes are pretty straightforward. So I would advise you to take advantage of it. Recitation project, right? Again, this is something you work closely with your TAs on at the last week of school. Should be pretty straightforward. And then you have the extra credit, which I talked a bit about before. Okay, here's the computer labs, a couple of miscellaneous things in here. You want to pay attention to that. And then this is just like the schedule that I went over before. Okay, so this is your syllabus. You can read through all of this on your own. If there's any particular points that I missed that you're not clear on, feel free to send me an email. Okay, all right. So sorry about that, flushing some of my other work here. So anyway, please do let me know if there's any questions, but this is your introduction. If there's anything you'd like to know more about, send me an email. I'm gonna try to cut the other lectures for chapter 1 and 2. I don't know, maybe Tuesday or so, right? Technically, class doesn't really start until Wednesday, but I guess for async, it doesn't matter, right? So let's see when I can post it. I'm going to try to encourage the TAs to try to post their lectures as early as they can during the week, and we'll try to grade the assignments as quickly as possible, okay? But I can't really guarantee it. You know, some of the TAs are fairly busy, but I will push them to try to grade your assignments as quickly as possible. Yeah, that's the other thing to make clear. The TAs are actually handling your grades. So sometimes people come and ask me about grades and whatnot. I have some questions about it. You're better off to go to your TAs first. And unless there's a disagreement between yourself and the TA on how something was graded, you should resolve it with them because they're the ones that's handling the grading. I don't handle the grading. I'm only there to arbitrate in case there's like a disagreement on how we came to a grade. Or there's an academic integrity issue, okay? So do follow up with your TAs if you have any questions about the grading and, you know, submitting your assignments or stuff like that, okay? All right, so hopefully this will be the longest lecture I'm going to be giving you. And all the other lectures, I expect that I will be recording much shorter topical lectures, and you'll start to see them pop up on my page soon. Okay, thank you.